Okay.
We did. How many days is this now? Are we done yet?
I have no idea. I haven't kept track other than it said that there were 57 videos in the playlist, which doesn't seem right. Um, but maybe that's what the number is. I have to
I
go
think
back through.
I think we've done it about 50. We've done it about, well, it'd be about 6 weeks. We've done it about 6 weeks. Well, maybe not.
And we're still here. And we're actually testing something a little bit new today.
We are. And everybody can give us a little bit of feedback if there's anybody on early. Our two founding viewers have joined us in the chat. Welcome, Wendy and Craig.
The we've got an icon in that chat now too. So one of the things we're doing is we're testing Slack to see if we can stop slacking with the way that the chat works during the live session. We've had this delay where it's kind of like those old videos where you'd like be like a Looney Tune video where a firecracker would go off at the edge of a tail, and then it would take a while for it to make it to the brain of an animal or a dinosaur or whatever. Anyhow, we've decided to run a separate live chat to keep the conversation going on these inside Slack, and that has started as of this morning, and we've got the OGs in there. And if you'd like an invitation, this could be invite only. Yeah. So as we test here, we're going to see some different things. So one of the things that we're seeing is what happens in a mobile environment, and we've got one of our testers that's running into some challenges there as we go through. But the cool thing is now I can give you real time feedback, Wendy, while Brent types. So we're going to keep testing different stuff, and we're going to see what we can do to get the different platforms working with each other. So
yeah,
we also have what do they call this thing down at the bottom?
Ticker.
We have a ticker,
a news ticker.
So our ticker reminds everybody that we do this live on Monday through Thursday at 6 o'clock in the morning Mountain Time.
8 o'clock Eastern Time.
8 o'clock Eastern and 5 o'clock in the Pacific, on the Pacific.
Under the Pacific, by the Pacific, in the Pacific.
Yeah, Brent has no background, correct, and we are switched, correct.
And does it look like, how much lag does it look like there is between my video and my voice?
I'm seeing a little bit on my side.
You're still seeing a little bit?
Just a little bit. It's not as much as it was earlier. The other thing that's weirding me out is I've got the mirroring on, so like I think that I'm moving back this way, and I end up moving the other way. So
it's really weird. While we're talking about production stuff, you look different. Like when you look at yourself, you look different when you see yourself perfectly reflected, or when the image is mirrored, and when you actually see when you see it in the correct, I don't even know if the correct is the right word, one orientation or the other. When you look at yourself, do you feel like you look the same when you're mirrored or not mirrored?
Are you challenging the symmetry of my face?
No, I just
I'm messing around.
I know.
Have you seen those?
I challenge the symmetry of my own. Let me put it that way. Every time I look at it, I'm like, ooh, I like that other one way better.
So Craig is saying that he's still seeing the time delay on and Craig, you're always going to see the time delay on the live session. The challenge is we were delayed twice, so you get the delay from us, and then you'd put things in, then we get another delay, and that delay would compound. It'd be like one of those wasn't an Escher image, but those images when you look at somebody's video through a mirror and the mirrors are on both sides, and it just goes on into infinity. the from a workflow perspective, I'm gonna try to figure out where I actually want this little Slack thing. So you guys get to do this is the beauty. You're seeing us work in real time. So the tests that we're doing are happening while we're going through this. And um, so it's gonna slow down. At least it's gonna slow down my voice because I struggle with walking and chewing gum at the same time. But
Well, that's just how we roll. It's just the way we go. So
the in the Discover commercials, a lot of times they'll have the same person playing the same role back and forth, and they are always the opposite, like an opposite, the mirror version of that camera angle. And there's subtle differences, slight differences that you see in folks, and that's where we're gonna go music reference, but my mind is playing tricks on me. The So yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of the mirroring, but anyway. So
see, I told you.
so Craig added a comment. We're looking for a live platform. We're trying to figure out what. So yes, and we've got a couple of requirements. One, we wanted right now we're not making money doing this, so cost is one of the requirements. Two, we've all got a lot of platforms, so adding another piece of technology into the stack for the sake of adding a piece of technology into the stack is not necessarily going to be the right thing to do at the right time. So we're going to have to figure that out, and then three, we've got to figure out exactly what is the specific experience that folks who join on are looking for as we do this. So I'm going to add in there we go. That's a little bit off. This should be a little bit better. Um, yeah, I'm going to add in the Slack exchange so that we can see when we start getting the feedback, which is actually going to be kind of funny because we'll see it faster. It's like I think we need Doc Brown to help us figure this out with the flux capacitor.
There, yeah, that was like I was almost instantaneous. As soon as I hit return, bam, it was right there.
It's right there, yeah.
Why, Craig? Do you happen to have a live platform that you're working with these days? What's your favorite?
I think he's a big Adobe Connect fan, isn't he, Craig?
Yes, Craig. That's why I'm
we're smiling. Yeah. So if you're joining us for the first time, this is Test Out the Tools Tuesday that we just made up right now while we're messing around with doing in more real-time chat, which is kind of nice. So Wendy switched to her laptop for LinkedIn and phone now for Slack. Okay. And then, so we've got to figure that out. Like, how do we create the right experience for people to be able to engage in the content when they want to engage in the content? One of the neat things that Slack will do for us is we can take the recording of this session, drop it into that specific Slack channel, and then the conversation can continue post session. But it's a little bit awkward, especially if people are trying to join via a mobile device to be able to be in both pieces. What's up?
No, well, there's a new feature called Edge Light where you can use your monitor as an LED light, like a ring light.
Yeah.
I did not know that was a thing. Holy buckets.
Where are you doing that?
That's a game changer. Inside of, I think it's called Camo.
Okay.
It actually might just be something built right into Mac OS, to be honest. It's a camera at the top of the screen, and I can switch between which thing is using the camera. And then you've got portrait, studio light, edge light, reactions, and the background. And that's where I change my background when I'm not using Ecamm.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah, sorry. We don't need to get into full-on production stuff. But like you said, we have been kind of, testing this out. We are testing the theory of working out loud and just going live. So when Mike and I first started this, it was like, let's just start it and just do it and just put the wheels on the bus while we're driving it down the street. and that's what we've been doing. And yesterday we both had a little bit of extra time more than normal. And so we spent some time working on upping the production value a little bit for you and just kind of talking about what's next for the live stream and what are all the things we want to do. So, one thing that we did find out that we liked was the news, hitting some news every day. I'm still trying to figure out what's the best way to gather the news. And so one of the working out loud things is the thing that everybody's talking about is how do we best utilize AI for the work that we all do? And um, I would actually love it, and we won't do this too often, but I did a LinkedIn post over the weekend, and it seems to have gathered a whole bunch of people who are mad at me. I pasted an X post from the Chat GPT. I think it was the public relations person or whatever, and because she had said something about that marketing hire is no longer necessary or something like that.
Yeah.
The marketing hire is, oh no, the marketing hire is now optional because ChatGPT came out with um, a very specific version of ChatGPT that is focused on doing marketing stuff, doing stuff that a marketer would do.
Mm.
And all I did was put that picture in and change it from marketing hire to instructional design hire and ask the question, how long do you think it'll be before this happens? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. It
And everybody kind of freaked. Well, not everybody. Some people, kind of rolled with it, tongue in cheek and whatnot. But yeah, some people were not all too happy about it. So
Well, one of the things I want to test as a result of it, just because of who all saw it. So, one of the things that we were looking at was the people outside of Brent's network that were engaging with it, right? That was another thing that would seem
yeah,
kind of
well, yeah,
interesting.
they may be part. Well, actually, no. When I first started seeing them come
Yeah.
in, they were second level connections,
Okay.
and they were names that I just did not recognize. But
Got
they're
it.
in our industry,
Got it.
and so I obviously reached out and followed and connected with
Sure.
everybody. And but yeah, that was the craziest thing was that it wasn't the usual people that see my feed. So go ahead.
So, one of the things that jumped out at me is the picture that Brent shared had a large number well, I had large numbers of engagement on that picture. So in the original version that was posted, and I was it an Instagram thing or was it an X
It was
thing or
X. Yeah.
X? Okay, so in that version, it showed numbers, and the numbers were insane numbers, like X how many thousand comments and how many thousands of likes and how many thousands of retweets and whatnot. And I thought, I wonder if the image overlords, when you load things into LinkedIn, are looking at this and saying, "Ooh, well, that had a lot of interesting numbers in that platform. Maybe if it'll have boost of numbers inside this platform." So Brent's going to break us today by we're going to add something new to the scene, and it's so now we've got four. Your Brent's really going to challenge the production capability of my um, moving things around. So there we go. But I just wonder if you scroll down a little bit more or scroll up a little bit more so we can see the numbers, if
Oh yeah.
those numbers start to influence it. So one of the things I'm going to test again in the spirit of testing out, working out loud and testing, is what happens if you take an image and um, have a comment and like numbers like this underneath it. does that ultimately boost some kind of engagement in some of these other platforms? And not that we're going for it's this isn't about engagement farming. It's more about hey, let's understand how the tools work. So what what game are we playing here? So I thought that was kind of interesting. I just know that in some instances, depending on the text that I put on images, some of those images will either um, be what's the will be uh, the reach will start to slow down a little bit. Yeah, as an example, let's say you put a URL for a website in an image that will typically start to slow the reach of that image out as an example.
Well, so basically, maybe I just hacked the algorithm.
I don't know.
If the algorithm can actually can understand what this image is, because I didn't add much text, hardly at all. But if it was able to go through and parse the text
Yeah.
within the image that I shared, and it was able to understand that this is a social media post, and the things at the bottom were numbers of likes, engagement, comments, all that kind of stuff. And it went, wow, we need, this is important. So we need to push this all over the place. Then I wonder how long it's going to be before others realize that and just start sharing screenshots of posts that have done really well on X and other platforms.
Well, so people do that. Like if you go back, there was a run, and this is one of those things that used to drive me absolutely freaking nuts. And I'm going to change this just so that we're back in the in the other view. So Brent, when you want to share something again,
Give you a
I'll
heads
bring
up.
things back. But what so if when you spend as much stupid freaking time as I do on some of these social platforms, which just makes me not like myself at different points in either the the week, the month, or even the
Makes
year.
you feel
Um,
dirty.
but yeah, it's there was a period there. Does anybody remember that little period of time where people were posting stuff on Twitter, and then they would take a screenshot of that post on Twitter, and then they'd repost it in LinkedIn? So you'd see people's posts in different environments. Just it's basically people were testing, different people might be testing things on Twitter to see what kind of engagement you get, and then go
Yeah.
and putting on LinkedIn to see if it would go. Anyhow, those were all originally they were authentic, they were real. Then you started to see people show up with like the blue check in the posts that they were posting. And I knew those people didn't have the blue check in that environment. So basically, what was ended up happening is people were putting bullshit in those images out there. So they were using things like Canva to update the images to make it appear like it was something that they had posted in this environment and then put it in this environment. And nothing's real. So like
Every system gets gamed sooner or later, including our system of instructional design, learning and development, whatever. The system gets gamed, and it has been since the dawn of technology, e-learning, digital-based learning, digital-based content. The system has been gamed, and mostly for good reason, because a lot of the stuff is useless, but I won't go into that. I think we should take, it's already almost 20 after.
I want to add one more thing before we get into the news, just because
Okay.
again, this is kind of a working out loud, testing
Mhm.
different tools. And if anybody has a recommendation on live streaming tools that we could use that will create this kind of engagement, like one of the things we looked at is there are a couple of people who are streaming on YouTube who will do everything inside YouTube. So you see the comments push through, and then you drive everybody to go do the work inside that environment. And we would like to yeah, thank you, Craig. Oh, this is the cool thing. Now you get to see live gifs the
Yes.
inside the Slack channel, which is actually, so there we go, another benefit of Slack. One of the things that Craig did add in here, a side note, is if you're sharing the chat live, it's not curated, just saying, which is fine, because let's let the people curate the chat
Mhm.
until we get to a point where we start to see things that are not appropriate. And if we start to see things that are not appropriate, then we got to get into, okay, now we have to do some limiting things. The one thing that we're going to limit is the Slack instance, which Brent and I are in. And if you know me, you know that I'm always on Slack. Um, Brent and I are in the Slack instance. It will be, or it is invite only. So you have to request to get access to the Slack, and then we'll send the link to join on. If we've never heard of you, we've not ever had any kind of interaction with you, there might be some other kind of thing that you need to do to so that we know that you're a real person. I don't think the bots are going to catch up on us yet, but with some of the stuff that we're talking about with AI, who knows? They may decide that Brent is like John Connor, and at some point in time, he's going to eliminate their ability to take over the world. Come on, John Connor, Terminator.
I know. You're not supposed to say it. Remember, you're just supposed to pick up your coffee and take a drink.
Shit. Okay. Thank you. All right. The F-bomb is already approved. Yeah, always. Like, come on now.
Oh, so see, this is the type of thing that I would have totally created an Ecamm, a counter. And I would just click a button on my Stream Deck to increment the counter every time you drop the F-bomb.
Play some of those audio noises, like the music DJ, like
I can't do it anymore because I switched out of Ecamm to just so I wouldn't double lag us. But anyways, so
all right, to the news.
Yeah, let's get to the news. But this is funny. So in the gem that I created, that acts as my executive producer for the show, it always starts with a producer note, and it says, "Good morning. Today is Tuesday, January 20th, 26. We have a heavy news cycle today. The new H-1B wage-weighted rule and the State Department visa pause are shaking up talent strategies globally. This is your lead. We're also seeing the first true agentic HR tools hitting the market, Diana HR, moving us from AI assistance to AI autonomy. Finally, the hiring market has officially shifted to quality over quantity, putting massive pressure on L&D to build internal talent pipelines immediately." So that's just a little overview just for me as my producer, giving me a little heads up as to what's going on today. So, and then it creates the whole entire script for me. And so I will do my best anchorman. Good morning. My name is Brent Schlenker, and this is the L&D Morning Brief. It's Tuesday, January 20th, 2026. If you're relying on external hiring to fill your skills gaps this quarter, I have bad news. The government just shut the door on global talent, and the only way out is up. Upskilling your own people. Plus, we are finally ready to let AI agents handle onboarding without a human in the loop. Let's run the show.
Has there ever been a human in the loop of onboarding? Like, don't people just give you a checklist and you just have to work through the checklist?
Well,
I'm messing around.
Stop making sense and interrupting the news, Mike. Jeez Willis.
What did you say to Jane?
Oh, yeah. Jane, you ignorant slut. Our top story, the global talent pipeline just got squeezed, according to new reports from SHRM. That's SHRM. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's the HR group that's kind of like ATD.
Society for Human Resource Management.
That's it, yes. And the State Department this week, the U.S. has indefinitely paused green card processing for 75 countries. Graphic on-screen bullets, Talent Crunch 2026. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to read that. Green card processing paused, H-1B lottery replaced by wage-weighted selection, premium processing fees increased effective March 1st. On top of that, the USCIS has officially replaced the random H-1B lottery with a wage-weighted selection process. This means visas now favor the highest bidders, the highest wage offers.
Okay, there's a question. What does it mean by no global talent?
Where did I say no global talent?
It was that first one. What was the thing about global talent and skill?
Oh, back at the beginning?
Yeah.
Strategies globally up shaking. State Department visa pause are shaking up talent strategies globally.
That might have been where it was pulling it from, is that you're not going to be able to get the H-1B visa, so access to global talent might be a little bit different. That might have been the leap, but anyhow,
You
back to the news,
Yeah,
Brent.
here's the why this matters for L&D. For the last decade, if you couldn't find a data scientist or an AI ethics officer locally, you sponsored one. That option is now prohibitively expensive or legally stalled. The build versus buy, quote unquote, talent debate is over. You cannot buy, you must build. If your Q1 strategy doesn't prioritize internal mobility and rapid reskilling for technical roles, your organization will have vacancies that sit empty until 2027.
Yeah.
How
The
many of you have worked in an environment in L&D where that was a problem? Where you needed somebody so desperately and you couldn't find anybody in the States, you had to sponsor an H-1B visa in order to fill an L&D job. Is it even real for our industry? Is what I'm curious about. I've never experienced it, so I understand, like engineers, highly technical, uh, you know, things that I understand that in the entrepreneur world, startups and whatnot, this is a really big deal in finding people that have the highly technical skills to build stuff. But in our world, is it really an issue?
Wendy says that she still sees companies paying, um, and I mean, back way back when Mike and I left O'Reilly, the one of the people who ended up replacing us in our role, that helped move things along from a visa perspective. So yeah, but that was, I mean, that was a long time ago. That was like eternity. It was almost, it's kind of crazy when you think about it. That was like 20% of my life ago.
You
20% of my current life, excuse me, not my total. So
not my other life.
there we go.
Yeah. Don't make us
Contract
feel
work.
old, man. Just don't make us feel old. Can't
Yeah.
handle that today.
We got it. I mean, we should feel old because that's part of the theme. It's like old men shouting
Oh,
at clouds. You're yelling at clouds, so we've got to feel
yes.
old.
You mean we're embracing it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think the this gives me the whole this only the cis steal in absolutes. So when the what is the debate is over. Okay, AI has dropped the mic.
Yeah, no. Well, it is Tech Tuesday, so let's just roll with it. Moving to tech, we've been talking about agentic AI since the McKinsey reports of late 2024. But this week, it became a product you can actually buy. Diana HR has just deployed the first production grade HR agent for onboarding. Note the word agent. This isn't a chatbot that answers questions like, where's the bathroom? This is an autonomous system that proactively reaches out to new hires, collects documents, provisions software accounts, and schedules their first week of meetings, all without a human HR manager clicking a button. The implication for instructional design is massive. We are no longer designing onboarding content for humans to read. We are designing parameters for agents to execute. The question for you today is your onboarding process standardized enough for an agent to run it? If not, it's time to clean up your SOPs. And didn't we talk about this yesterday? In a tangential sort of way, we were talking about systems versus goals, right? And creating AI gives us this ability to create systems that take the parameters that we give it and the information that we give it, and it does the work. We aren't building courses. We're understanding that the goal is that somebody needs to learn something, that somebody interacts with a system in order to learn that something. They don't interact with a course.
This is one of the reasons why I think design is going to become more valuable as a leadership skill, like the ability to design things. You turned me on to the book. I think it was you or some groups within TLDC way back when turned me onto the group, but the Design of Everyday Things.
Yeah.
Phenomenal book.
Yeah.
And when you think about whether we're designing things that are instructionally sound or we're designing processes to achieve a specific objective, there are a number of folks out there who struggle with the whole idea of design. Like they just want to do. It's like, hey, I just want to go. Like I just want to start doing the work. And
Yeah.
and the challenge with it is you might guess right that that's the work. But when you design with intention, you can create experiences by design rather than experiences that happen organically. And there's a benefit to either side of those things, especially when we're talking about speed to impact in the onboarding process and actually
Yeah.
having an onboarding process. So one of the questions I'd ask, I think the thing to ask is, what is our onboarding process? And just write that
Yeah.
down. And you might be the first person to have written down your onboarding process, depending on the
Right.
stage of organization, because sometimes these things just aren't written down. Now, because you're not aware of it, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. So then you start to ask some of the people who are aware of it and where they go. And like we all remember, I remember the day back in the day when you'd go the first day at work, you'd go into an office and then you'd get like this crap ton of paperwork that you had to fill out.
Yeah.
Right? Like that was the thing. And then as you move through the assembly line, maybe you pick up a laptop. And then as you move through the assembly line, you go get your picture taken for a badge. And then and you just move through those things. We used to move through assembly lines way back when.
Yeah.
And it didn't feel very human. It didn't feel like there were a lot of humans
If
in
you
the
ever
room.
feel like a cog in the machine, the onboarding process was it.
I think
it.
I'm optimistic that we're gonna shift into more of an everboarding approach. So what does everboarding look like? How are we continuing to create opportunity for people to get
Yeah.
exposure to different segments of the business, different relationships, then building that network inside the business and taking more of an everboarding approach. But when you start talking about those kind of things, like this continuous journey, we talk about with our customers going on this journey. We do look at internal customers. We start talking about this, you will blow some people's minds. And people are like, why are you making it so complicated? Just get people out there to go do the work. But anyway, I'm optimistic that onboarding will shift to everboarding at some point in time in some of the more progressive the businesses that are on the cutting edge of moving things forward a bit.
Yeah. And it's not that there isn't work that still needs to be done. So when you buy Diana HR, but I know this is going to happen. It's just human nature, and it's just how we've seen businesses work. It's why AI gets purchased and quote unquote implemented, but then it fails. It's because everybody thinks it's a magic bullet, and nobody is doing the design, right? Nobody is thinking it through. And by design, I think we immediately think, when we go to design, we immediately think of visuals that somebody is designing. And one of the things that I think we always have to revert back to, especially when we're talking about instructional design, is that when you're assessing who your audience is, or just knowing that you need to go start with the audience first, figure out who the people are that you're going to be training, and figure out what that cohort looks like. What types of people are they? Is it a specific type of person? Is it a specific job role? What is the environment that they work in? What's the context? And all that kind of stuff. Just knowing that is design. And then going and doing it, and how you collect that information and then how you use it is design. And this is why when you becoming a better instructional designer and understanding instructional design practices, we can learn more from how marketing agencies view design and how they go about doing the work that they do, because they do an unbelievable job of looking at the environment within which their product is going to be functioning, at least the good ones. If you've watched any documentaries or anything like that about specific marketing campaigns or research and stuff like that, anyways,
Another one,
I could go on and on.
Another one, Brent, that's even closer to some people because they just, like marketing can feel a little bit fluffy, or sales can feel a little bit fluffy, or even instructional design can feel a little bit fluffy. But um, think about the last thing that you cooked in your house, that you cooked from like scratch. Actually, even the stuff that you just took out of a box. If you happen to throw the box in the boiling water, things would have gone horribly wrong. Like there's some instructions that you have to follow. You have to open the box. You have to take the packaged stuff out of the box. You got to pour the thing. You make sure the water is boiling before you pour the stuff in.
Yeah.
Like there's design to the way that the recipe and the instructions, the instructions that are provided, that is done by design. There's an order of operations that these things happen in. A really good movie to see design orchestrated is The Founder. And have you seen The Founder?
Yes.
So it's a story about McDonald's and Ray Kroc, and just some background information, or that's the arc of the story. There's a scene where they go out to a tennis court and they draw up what the operating environment would look like to help improve from a design perspective how each of the people work with each other to get all of the things out there in a way to be able to get a hamburger and fries out to you in 30 seconds or whatever the timeline is. But and this is why that book, The Design of Everyday Things, is so powerful. Once you read it and look at it and engage with it, you start to see where some design serendipity takes place. And
you will look at the world very differently after going through and reading that book. And it's I think everybody should read it. I think it's one of those works that is it's useful for everyone, for everything, to help you think and see things differently. So anyways, there's a whole gazillion different ways we can go on this, and I think we should follow up at some point on this as we're doing the AI challenge, as we start to build that. So just as a note, instead of waiting until the end of the show, since we're talking about AI, we want to do an additional show that includes 3 or 4 different people that are focused on a particular AI platform. You've got Gemini, you've got Copilot, you've got ChatGPT, you got Perplexity, and I'm sure there's others, but those are the 4 that always come to my mind. And so if you are one of those, if you are a heavy user of one of those platforms and you want to be the person that takes on the challenge in that specific platform that you know how to use, let us know. And we will make sure you are at some point one of our challenge participants, and go through a build live for everybody. So in the spirit of working out loud and learning together, that's what we'll be doing there. So anyways, okay, so now finally, looking at the human capital side, a new report dropped late last week indicating that U.S. tech hiring has officially moderated to a quality over quantity approach. Really? I'm going to stop right there and just question that, but let's just see what it has to say. With the unemployment rate holding steady at 4.4% and the visa restrictions we just mentioned, companies are no longer mass hiring, they are mass auditing. The phrase of the week is talent density. HR leaders are looking to increase the density of skills per employee rather than the number of employees. This is your call to action. Stop measuring hours of learning or course completions. Start measuring velocity to proficiency. How fast can you take a mid-level employee and make them quality enough to fill a senior gap? That is the only metric that will matter to your CFO in 2026. That's your brief for today. The external talent market is closing. The internal mobile market is opening. Good luck building. See you tomorrow.
Could you imagine going up to the CFO and being like, "So I hear that the only metric you care about this year is the talent stack or like the skill stack that's happening to people and how quickly you're building that skill stack. Don't worry about revenue. Don't worry about profit. Don't worry about uh,
No, it's velocity to proficiency. That's a new phrase that somebody is going to try to make $1 million off of.
that's
Didn't we call it speed to impact for a while? Or
that's what I keep putting out there: accelerating speed to impact.
Accelerating speed to impact. All right.
Accelerating speed to impact.
Well, this sounds very, very elite. So maybe you should change it to velocity to proficiency.
Yeah, okay. So of all of those,
I'm a simple man.
I want to go fast.
So yeah, I noticed that Wendy mentioned she's a Copilot user and a what was the other one that you use? Oh, I can't scroll up on the. Oh, I can go into my Slack, I guess. Yes, I can.
Cloud is current focus and Copilot. So yeah, so we're gonna get that. We're gonna make that happen here in the next. What is it? January 20th. I'd say in the next 25-ish days.
Yeah, we got to pull it together and get the.
We're shooting for mid February. Is probably the period that we do it, and it's gonna be a longer thing because we're gonna want to give. We're gonna kind of do a little bit of design, maybe do like a 90-minute kind of thing, a couple of sprints inside it, and work through it. So we'll keep that in mind, and yeah, we're going to be building the list of folks who are going to help. What we do? Didn't Craig gave us a list of all of the equipment in his room, like all the guitars.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna come up with some fun challenges as we go through it.
Yeah, and it's not like, ooh, one's a winner and one's a loser. It's not our intent for doing that, folks. It is specifically to just in real time watch people go through the process of engaging with AI with a particular goal in mind, and the the outcome of the goal isn't necessarily the goal of doing it. It's the process. It's going through the steps and seeing how each of the different platforms, and quite frankly, how each of the different users thinks and approaches their particular platform of choice, and how they go about solving it, and how the AI responds back. And we'll see what the four contestants can learn from each other too, right? I envision things like, oh, I've never asked mine that. Let me try, and lots of back and forth going on, and people learning from each other. So I'm super psyched about it. I think it's going to be, I think it's going to level up the AI learning game for a lot of people, and it's going to speed that learning curve.
I'm biting my tongue because everything's a competition. But
okay, we'll make it a fun competition.
It'll be a fun competition.
It'll be fun. We'll make at some point we'll be maybe as big and as popular as some
Mr.
of my past shows, and we can afford to buy mugs to mail out to people.
I was thinking like Mr. Beast kind of competition, like those for the.
Yeah, we can't do that.
We can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
Someday. So that's our basic news. But
Someday.
here's the most fun part about the news is that I did ask my agent to also give me a cut list of all the things that landed on the cutting room floor as it searched through the galaxy for the day's news. I can run through a couple of those because I think they're kind of funny at times. EU AI Act training deadline. USCIS. Somebody tell me if you think any of these are interesting. USCIS fee hike, healthy benefits divide report, included AI acquisition, McKinsey super agency report, and mental health productivity crisis.
What's the mental health productivity crisis?
It says a perennial issue, but talent density felt fresher for the economic moment.
I am happy that in this episode we have hit on both destiny and density at the same time. There we go.
You are my density.
Oh, and another Doc Brown related reference. See,
there's something to that.
The show has layers. It has layers.
Lots of layers, like an onion.
Parfaits. Everybody likes parfaits.
Yeah. So, my guess is that's where the AI. It sounds like talent density sounded better than the mental health productivity crisis, because I think basically what they're getting at there from that human side of it is the people that are left after the culling of the herd are being asked to do more with less. And this isn't necessarily new. Docebo just laid off, was it 10% or 30% of its workforce? I started seeing the LinkedIn posts come through this morning.
I missed that completely. Wow.
Yep. And, some organizations do it at the end of the year. Some wait till after the holidays and crush people's dreams for the new year, so it's just.
At SmartForce, it was always after the holidays. You just kind of, then the way that you knew that it wasn't going to happen, and that this is way back in the day, is that you just didn't get invited to the global sales kickoff. So you weren't making a room.
Hey, manager, I didn't get that invite.
You might have to start looking, which sucks. Like, and so, this is that period of time. We're 20 days into the year. So you're gonna go through first, in between Christmas and New Year's. You were out there talking about all the cool things you were going to get done next year.
Yeah.
New you kind of thing. And then you got back into work, however you entered back into the workplace, and realized, as much as I want to be new this year, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in my operating environment that, just as I want to get out, they pull me back in. And all of a sudden those things become distractions. And then you start to look at this checklist of stuff that you said you were going to do, and things start to drop off and they start to fall off. You're not going in and getting as many steps as you wanted to every day, or you're not doing your push-ups, or you're whatever the thing is, but some things get in the way. And here's the thing that you can do to accelerate speed to impact, because accelerating speed to impact is more important than going fast. You eliminate before you accelerate. And by eliminating, what I mean there is, look back at the things. If you didn't hit on 80% of your targets in a given day, the work that you wanted to get done, look back and say, what got in the way? What were the distractions? What got prioritized over the other thing? And maybe what you might be doing is you might be trying to do too much. And you may not be able to eliminate everything immediately, but you can at least, once you know that you're trying to do too much, you can start to build out a plan to say, okay, what can I reduce? How can I simplify? How can I reduce some of the complexity here so that I can stay focused on the things that are in my control? And the connection to layoffs and all of that other stuff is that your what's next is in your control. Where you reach out to, how you lean on your network, how you engage with others to find that next opportunity. Because just as some companies start reducing staff, others will continue to increase staff. And if that's one of those things you need help with, you just get a hold of me directly through LinkedIn and send me a direct message, and I am happy to share some stuff on how you can kind of focus on that and then really identify who that next employer is and what might make sense. But there will always be more for you to do. There will always be more for you to take on. And the key when it comes to missing on some of these things and wanting to get back on that get the mental stuff going again is reduce, like eliminate. At least that's how I work through those times of stress. And they typically happen. They keep happening for whatever reason. Again, now, especially this first 20 days into the year, becomes a big one, because you start to realize, hey, these things I committed to aren't necessarily the identity that I've embraced yet, and now I've got to kind of reassess and work through it. Brent, good to test stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. Wendy and Craig, thanks for testing with us and being in there. If you're watching this live, or you watch the recording and you'd like to get involved in the chat, send a direct message to Brent and I will get you set up on there, and we will continue to test. Brent, where can people find you?
Find me on LinkedIn and leave me a message, follow, or just, comment.
Say hey.
Say hey. And Mike, where can people find their catalyst?
You can find your catalyst at findmycatalyst.com. And when it comes to the hiring stuff, if you're running in through that kind of stuff, just send me a direct message on LinkedIn. And happy to help you there.
Awesome. Let's do this again tomorrow.
All right.
I like the new format. Give us some feedback, Wendy and Craig. Tell us what you think. And just as an aside, as a closing parting comment, no, don't play noises for the love of all that is holy. Quote from Craig in the actual LinkedIn chat.
Oh, good. I think that's a vote for noises. Thank you, Craig. I appreciate it.
I was telling Mike about your affinity for wonderful, cool sound effects and noises in podcasts. I think is one of the ones or something like that I tried. I attempted. I am definitely not the dude from Police Academy. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.